Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, the provision of protection for the victims of crime and for witnesses after the perpetrators have been released, early particularly, but released generally, is just not good enough and is sometimes downright dangerous. It's not my opinion, but it is an opinion with which I wholeheartedly agree. This statement actually comes from Baroness Helen Newlove, who is the Victims Commissioner for England and Wales. And she says there's no funding, there's no provision to inform. Said oftentimes the first time that the victims realise that whoever's attacked them is released is when they see them on the street. She says the police and the justice system must inform victims and witnesses in crimes before the release of the perpetrator. And at that point, the victims and witnesses, must have an input as to whether that release is warranted. Now, these are massively big changes to our justice system, but I think they're changes for the better. I think we need to rebalance the scales very much in favour of the victims and take away the rights of the perpetrator. Once you break the law, you should not be protected by it. You have a choice and actions have consequences. If you make the choice to do these things, you must suffer those consequences. But there's too many do-gooders going on about the human rights of prisoners. Well, I don't believe the human rights of prisoners should extend and trump the human rights of victims. So Baroness Newlove is absolutely right. But she says it's a very dangerous scheme, is this, talking about the early release of prisoners. She said most of them haven't been rehabilitated. Most of them are basically just open. The door of the jail is open. They're released. There's no follow-up. There's no obligation for parole. If a prisoner gets parole, they have to meet certain criteria. They have to meet with parole officers, etc., etc. But these prisoners aren't being paroled. They can't go through the parole system. They're just simply being released. And this is a very bad way of doing it. If they're going to be released, then they must, she says, be ankle monitored for the remainder of their time in prison that they would otherwise have. And they must attend parole hearings, and go and see parole officers. It's a way of control. And then they can be told that if they break the zone, whatever their zone is for travel while wearing the ankle bracelet, if they breach that, then they're going straight back to prison and things like that. She says there's many things that can be done, but they're choosing not to do it. They're choosing deliberately just to release often dangerous criminals back onto the streets with no control. She says it's iniquitous, it's wrong, and it will result in people being re-victimised. And she's absolutely right. And how do we know she's right? Because that's exactly what's happening. You're getting people coming out and going and then threatening witnesses and victims again. Now, there are some that have been re-arrested and re-imprisoned on the same day for doing exactly this. So we know that Baroness Newlove is not speaking out the back of her head. She is absolutely spot on. Now, we know the pressure on the prison system is hard and heavy, but that's only because we haven't had a government willing to build another 6 or 7 prisons. Near where I am, they've just built this huge prison. It's not high category or something. It's a low category prison, but it's absolutely huge, and it's eased the strain. But we can dot another 5 or 6 of these around the country, and we can fill them up in an afternoon. Let's face it. Keep building them, but also build Supermax. Have that threat. Let them know. And also, I believe in the one thing Bill Clinton said: 3 strikes and you're out. 3 strikes and it's the rest of your life in prison. Absolutely right. Anyway, let me know what you think. It's a very difficult subject, I know, but I do absolutely think that victims should come before the criminal. Speak soon. Bye.